In today's first reading, St. Paul makes a daring proclamation. I rejoice in my sufferings for your sake, and in my flesh I am filling up what is lacking in the afflictions of Christ on behalf of his body, which is the church. I rejoice in my suffering. That's not something we hear or say often, but at the same time, all of us face suffering. And I suspect many of you watching, listening, praying with us today, that you know it all too well, personally and frequently. And so we might pause for a moment to consider this proclamation. Certainly, St. Paul is not saying that the passion and death of Jesus, the cross, is insufficient. It's missing something. Rather, he is leading us into the great mystery of Christian suffering. Jesus, God, could have chosen any means to redeem us from sin, to save us from hell, to forgive us, to restore us to divine friendship. It is fitting, and he chose to suffer. He chose the cross as the way to do it. Everyone faces suffering. Often, it's hard, and it's scary, and it feels and can be at times meaningless. Often, if not always, unavoidable. But it's into suffering, the cross, that we meet salvation. And so we can begin to see and to say with St. Paul, the suffering of the church, persecution, ridicule, physical hardship, your suffering in all of its forms, these are also Christ's afflictions. They're also Jesus' sufferings. And certainly we can say, and we do, that when you suffer, you're not alone. But there's more. Because you are united with Jesus. You are joined to his cross. You participate by grace in the work of salvation, in the work of saving souls. St. Paul rejoices in his suffering. And so we're invited to rejoice as well. Because the good that we do, the acts of love, the acts of charity, and the suffering we endure merits us with and in Jesus on the cross eternal life.